Hi friends, Hattie here with Honeybee Stampers. I know it's been a hot minute since I've been live to do a little video, but I felt like I need to get in here and get back to business. This summer kind of hit me hard after my little guy got out of preschool, and we had visitors and we've had trips planned and just all kinds of stuff that I felt like I wasn't necessarily prepared for crafting and handling all that stuff. So took a little bit of a break, but now I'm back to do some videos again. And we did have Sweet and Simple card class in June, which was so fun. So my mom's best friend, my Aunt Jeanette, came and was visiting here. And so she came to class, and it was so great to see her because she and her daughter, Desiree, who's a good friend of mine, we used to craft together a long time ago. And so it was so nice to have her here. And we had some other visitors that were in from out of town. My dear friend Franny, her sister came as well. So I love Miss Dottie when she comes all the way up from Texas. And yeah, and we had other guests that attended, and it was a really good time. So our niece is here right now, so she helped me prep for the event, and she actually participated in it as well. So we did some projects, and here are some of the projects that I'm going to show you today in this video tutorial, because we did have some people order these kits to go, and when they order them to go, then I share this video with them so that they can see how to put it together. Now, I will demonstrate these in just a second. Here we've got a new host code for the month of July. So our host code is JD3QETH3. Host code basically means that when you place an order and you add the host code to it, it attaches your order to me. And so I appreciate when you guys place those orders. I've got some thank you cards to go out in the mail for some orders that were placed last week. And so thank you guys so much for those. I really appreciate it. So there's been lots of things coming up too with Honeybee Stampers. I had this feeling that I needed to make a change, like something needed to be different. I've been enjoying my time with Sterling, and I wanted to have more time with him while also running my stamping business. And so I was talking to my husband about it, and bada bing, bada boom, we're moving. So I already told my my team about this, and I've already told my email subscribers about this in an email. But we're moving just literally 6 miles down the road. But with that move means that my studio here in Sumter, South Carolina, that I love this studio so much. This studio is going to be relocating as well. So we are going to be here in the studio. My goal is to move out of the studio by December. So if you have been wanting to come to an in-person class here at the studio, if you've wanted to come and shop my Honey Boutique at any point in time, now is your chance. So make sure that you don't forget about this studio here in town, because when we move the studio, it's not going to necessarily be open to the public. So the new studio is going to be more for private events, people who are on my current email list and their friends, and that kind of thing. So I'm not necessarily going to open it up to the public. So just kind of be aware of that. So it'll still be fun. It'll be a fun, beautiful place to come and craft together. But if you haven't had a chance to come to a class, please put me on your schedule, your to-do list before the end of this year. Okay, so with that being said, let's jump in to this project here, or these projects here. Slowly getting back into the swing of things. We're going to be moving this month, so July is going to be a busy month, but I do have Sweet and Simple card class for July on the books, and it's going to be on the 20th of this month. So that's another opportunity for you to come and stamp with me. It's going to be at 10 a.m. You know, we usually do 10 and 4. But we're especially right now with all that I have on my plate, we're just going to do the 10 a.m. class. So make sure that you plan to come out for that. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, so here is our host code again. Here are some of the projects. Let's jump in and get started. All right, let's do something easy. Let's start with this one. I consider them all easy, but this one's going to be an easy one to put together. Now, for those of you who got these kits to go, just know that it's going to look like this. When you get your little packet, it's going to look like this, and you dump out all these pieces. Look at all that work that our niece did. Let's see here. So Lexi put in a lot of work to cut and emboss and die cut and all the things to make all of our lives so much easier. And that's what makes it sweet and simple, right? So let me grab some tools here. And we'll take our bone folder, make a nice crease with our card base. And this layer right here has been embossed with a brand new embossing folder. And sorry, I don't remember all the names of the embossing folders, but I want to say this has to do with eyelets. Let me see here. This is the new catalog. If you don't have it and you wanted it, let me know, reach out to me. So it's number 5. Yeah, Eyelet 3D. That was a good guess. So that's the name of this embossing folder. It's very pretty. And it's a 3D embossing folder, so you can see that there's a lot of depth to it. They get some adhesive on as well. Okay. And you can use this side of it if you wanted to, because that looks great, or you can even use that side. I think I'm going to use the raised side. Just layer this piece on here. This designer series paper is one of my favorites out of this pack. And again, I'm really out of the loop. I cannot remember the names of half of the designer series paper or the stamp sets or anything like that. I'm going to have to get used to this again. But let me see, for those of you who are interested in it, let me see if I can find it really quick. I used it as part of one of my add-on classes for the retreat that I did, the spring retreat, which if you're a demonstrator, the holiday retreat registration has just opened up to people who've already attended, and I'm going to place that registration. I'm going to open it up to everybody really, really soon. So it's this layer of, or this designer series paper right here, and it's called Country Woods 12x12 DSP, and it's very pretty. So don't sleep on this, either of these really, but this is the one that's like one of my favorite designs there. So we've got this here. Get some more adhesive out. I'll use one of these. Okay, so we're just going to put a little adhesive on the back and layer this on the left hand side. And of course, if you got these kits to go, you can absolutely be creative and do whatever you wish with it. You don't have to copy and do exactly as I do it. This is just kind of a template or a guide to something that I've designed for you. Now we've got this little die cut here that'll already be die cut for you, and I use the stamp set. Let's see here. Seaside Wishes stamp set, which is beautiful. I love the font, of course, and I'm going to use this sentiment here because it's so special. We're going to use that sentiment in Misty Moonlight. Got to get back into the swing of doing videos. Okay, ink that up, and I'm just going to stamp right in the center. And since it's photopolymer, it makes it so easy to see. There we go. And then we did die cut these little starfish for you already. And you don't have to stamp on them if you don't want to, but if you wanted to add a little texture to that, this stamp is from that same stamp set. We'll use the Petal Pink ink. And you'll see that the starfish has like a shape to it. Like you can see where some of the legs or arms of the starfish kind of go in a certain direction. So you can move your stamp around until it kind of meets up with it. It should line up perfectly. So we'll ink this up, and then I'm going to eyeball it and stamp right there. And even if it's not perfect, it'll still look good. Okay, so you can see the difference there between stamping on it versus leaving it blank. I really like it when it's got a little bit of detail to it. So let's try to line this one up too. See, so that one obviously doesn't line up like that, or does it? Kind of does. I'm gonna keep turning it until I feel like, I think that looks the best. And we'll just stamp right there. Okay, good. Now, let's assemble. See how sweet and simple that stamping is, right? We're gonna now bring this card back in. Gonna add this larger sand dollar. So the sand dollar comes from the hybrid embossing folder, which means that there is an embossing folder that has a die that coordinates with it. And Stampin' Up! Has done several of these. Let me do it this way. Several of these, and they're really fun. You can use the embossing folder by itself to emboss an entire background, or you can die cut out the pieces like we've done here. And I'll put this one down here. Use some dimensionals to pop up the sentiment. Just like that. And then I did put some little, let's see, for this one, we'll just use a glue dot. I love our glue dots. They are so strong as far as adhesive goes, and they just work so great, especially with embellishments and twine and ribbon. All right, now for this one, I do want to put a little tiny dimensional. This is when it's great to have like multiple sizes, so either the small dimensionals or the regular. I tend to reach for the regular the most, but then there's little jobs like this where I want to use a small one. And then I just kind of stuck it in like that. Isn't that cute? There we go. We've got some gems. Your gems will be included in your little kit. I don't have any more of these kits available. Once I close the registration, I just made enough for the number of people who registered, as well as the people who came in person. But hopefully this will inspire you if you're at home and you want to recreate some projects because you have this product, and you can use this layout for sure. And then we'll just stick one right, let's stick one right there. Okay, there's that card, almost done. You'll even get a twined bow included. Just want to fix the ribbon a little bit. You can play with it too if you want the bow to be a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, or you can even pull it apart and just retie it all together if you wanted to. Okay, it's all twisted up. It's gonna drive me nuts. Oh well, all right, I'll have to come back to that. Anyways, to put on twine or ribbon, I always recommend glue dots. And if you wanted to, you could fix the bow onto your glue dot so that it's opened up a little bit. So here's my example. So you would put the center of your twine on there and then kind of stick the bow part, like open it up and stick it on there so that it looks good. That little side is twisted, so I'm not gonna be able to get it to work like I want it to, but that's all right. Now we're gonna sneak this right underneath here, and there we go. And then there is our first card. So simple, so sweet, I love it. So Seaside Wishes is very popular, and it comes with die, well, obviously if you got the bundle, and the embossing folder. So the embossing folder and the die come together. You'd have to order those together. They don't come separate. So there's that. I just had a friend ask me about that. My friend Patty was wondering if you could get the embossing folder by itself, and at this time you cannot. Okay, now next card. Let's do this one next. Move all this stuff out of the way. Gets messy in here so fast. Okay, so this is one of our new in colors. Such a pretty one too. Okay, so this one is called the Summer Splash. We've got 5 new in colors. Petunia Pop, if you're not familiar with them. Peach Pie is another one. Shy Shamrock is another one. And then we got one more. This in color is actually a returning color, Pretty in Pink. So those are our new 5 in colors. And this card, I actually did the original design in the Peach Pie. Looks like this. Open it up, the happy birthday card. However, everybody got different colors, so not everybody got the same color, just at least it was one of the in colors. So let's get this going. So for this card, I just basically took a regular size card and trimmed off the end here, and you're gonna hang on to this piece because you're gonna use it on your card front. So we've got this with a little bit trimmed off there. This larger white piece is gonna go on the inside, but before you put that down, you're gonna wanna add your DSP. And before you actually adhere your DSP, you're gonna wanna stamp. So that's something I'm always reminding people, to stamp first before you assemble anything. In case you don't love how it turned out, then you can re-stamp it on the other side. So we're gonna take the happy birthday, ink that up. And you know, I didn't even clean this to see if it, since everybody had different colors, I probably should clean it first to make sure I don't have another color layered on there. Oops. Happy birthday. Okay, looks good to me. Now I'll add my DSP. So you're gonna want the stripes facing up. You could do it the opposite way if you wanted to, absolutely. Oh. Move this over just a smudge. Can you guys tell I am such a perfectionist with my paper crafting? I probably drive everybody crazy with it, but there we go. So there's that. Now this piece is gonna get layered onto the inside of the card, and you're just going to center it on the card, and so some of those stripes are going to be peeking out like that. Okay, great start. So if you wanted to, you could have done the stripes out here with the flowers hanging out here if you wanted to. I just did it the other way. So now we're going to add this piece on. This is not a perfect square, so kind of pay attention to that when you adhere it together. There we go. And then you'll have a strip that looks like this. This is going to get stamped with our sentiment. And we're going to use a brand new stamp set called Saying Hey. Really fun little sentiments here. That's where the happy birthday came from, and that's where the Hey stamp set is going to come from, or stamp. So I did not clean the buckets or anything like that after class. We just kind of took off. Make sure that's cleaned up. You want to use a little foam pad underneath when you're using photopolymer. Okay, so let me just give you a little tip. You'll see that there's all these little bubbles on the stamp. That lets me know that this ink pad is too juicy for what I'm trying to do. So that's a quick and easy fix. Oops. That ink off my fingers. Okay. Let me grab just a plastic spoon. You could even use, I'll actually just use my bone folder since I have it right here. You could use a plastic spoon or you can use a bone folder. And all you have to do, can you see the difference there, is push the ink down. Now don't do it too hard that you scrape your ink pad itself, but you're just gonna either move some of the ink out to the sides or you're gonna push it down into the ink pad. There we go. Make sure you clean your bone folder off right away. And now when you stamp, it's gonna spread so much better and you're not gonna have those blotchy, that blotchy image. So we're gonna ink it up and just stamp Hey over on the side here. There you go. much better than if I would have stamped it like I had it earlier. Okay, we're gonna need this because I did feature a punch that's still available. So this punch is still available, but the stamp that coordinates with it does not. But I wanted to use the stamp, so I brought that in. So sometimes during Sweet and Simple, you may see a throwback stamp set that's retired. So it's this one, Petal Park, so if you have that one. Sometimes I'll still use it. Not always, because what happens is people will fall in love with whatever project it is, then they want to buy it, and guess what? It's retired, and so they're bummed. And then they're mad at me for even showing it to them because it was so cute. But anyways, I think they forgave me on this one. And most of them probably already had this stamp anyway. So we're going to take this and you're just going to ink it up. And also in the same Summer Splash. And stamp it down there. Now I'm not sure who did this in class. I want to say it was Jennifer. I can't remember. Or maybe it was Betty. I don't know. On my actual card, I had a black outline because I wanted to have some of the black pulled in from the ribbon that we used. But they did not stamp the black outline, and I really love how it looked. I actually think, and I can't remember, I think that they actually stamped the outline. Either they didn't stamp the outline at all, or they stamped it in this Summer Splash. So let's try that. Let's see how that looks if I were to try to line this up. Can you tell I'm concentrating? There we go. Okay, so it's off just a smudge, but I really like that. So let me do it one more time. So I'm going to ink up. I'm going to try the lines first. Okay, and then we'll come in with the inside filler. Oh, I definitely can see much better this way. So if I stamp with the outline first and then fill it in, I could see much better. Okay, there we go. Anyways, that works. Let us now use our punch. Now, when you use the punch to line it up, you're going to, let's see here. I'm gonna have to cut it so that I can get it to fit. I'm only picking this one because that's kind of fuzzy. Let's put this in here. Too much on that side. Okay, now we're going to want to line our image up like this. And it might take you a minute to do it, but you'll see that you've got a little white outline everywhere. And then you just squeeze and they'll pop out. So there's that. Love that. You're going to have the same color of the cardstock here that you're going to layer. Go ahead and put that on. This is a card I'd consider a fun fold in a sense. I like how you can use that extra piece on the card as well. Okay, now let's get some ribbon. And we'll tie a little bow here. Or not a bow, but a knot, a double knot. And if you need a third finger or another finger, you can use your bone folder. And then you just tie that like that, pull it tight, and then you just slide your bone folder out as you're pulling the bow tight, and that'll give you that perfect bow or that perfect knot. Here. Okay. Now let's bring this back in. I'm going to add this to my card front using some Stampin' Dimensionals. Right there. just layer it right about here so it's hanging off the side there. Something I forgot to stamp were the leaves. So we've got some little leaf, a little leaf stamp. Clean these off. I'm going to try the outline first because I found that that seemed to be easiest. Okay. Let me see how I'm going to feed that in. And then we'll fill it in with the same color. It's starting to get a little bit with the bubbles again that I mentioned earlier. So all I'm gonna do is push the ink away so that you get a clearer, crisper image. Okay, so you could probably tell the difference between that one and that one. Now let's bring this one in and just punch it out. I'm gonna need to do one more of those. And of course you could fussy cut these if you wanted to. Just using the punch is a lot of fun. Right, here are our two little leaves. We're gonna keep those because we're gonna add them to our card. All right, let's bring the card back in. I'm gonna put this larger flower on first. I'll just put it right here. And then I'm gonna add these on with glue dots instead of dimensionals. We'll stick this one here and maybe like that. And this one down here. There we go. And then we can decorate the rest of them. I'm gonna add a dimensional for this one as well. Down here. And let's do this one, this little one right up there. I think that'll be cute. Another dimensional. This would be a good time to use one of the smaller dimensionals, but that one fits. And we'll stick it right there. Okay, I like that. I really like the way that looks without the black outline. And then we kind of talked about putting maybe like a black gem or something, which let me see if I have any of those. And I just so happen to. These are old gems, but we'll use them. I'm gonna take my take your pick tool to get them off. Okay, and we'll put one right in the center. Oops, wrong one, wrong card. I guess I could put it on that one too. Ooh, I really like this. This is so cute. See, I love learning from the attendees at my classes too when they come up with really cute ideas. But how cute is that? I definitely think I like that one better than the original card. So you guys will have to let me know what you think about that. So cute. Put those gems back. Okay, there's that card. We've got two more cards to go. The next card, I better put these where I can find them. Okay, our next card is this one. Just clean up for a second, get this stuff out of my way. So this one features the new Airplane suite of products, which is the perfect masculine suite. It is so great. It's called Adventurous Skies. Let me find that stamp set. So Adventurous Sky stamp set, and I think this suite is called Take Flight, But this is a great stamp set. It was sold out for a little while, and now it's back in stock, so make sure you take a look at it. Clean this up. Okay, so let's grab all the pieces out of here. We're going to take our boho blue card base and just fold it in half. There's some stamping on the front of the card base that we can do. Let me grab those stamps here. We've got some cloud stamps, and we're going to do tone on tone. So you're going to grab the boho blue ink, and ink up your cloud, and we're just going to kind of stamp at the bottom here. There we go. Gotta find my cleaning pad. There it is. A chamois is so handy to have. You can clean and just keep on moving. I'm going to take this off of here because we're going to need to stamp the sentiment. Pick that up. There we go. And then we're going to stamp this one. Actually, we're going to stamp the smaller one. We're going to stamp the smaller one over here because, there we go, because these will need to be die cut out, which I've already done for you. I've already done this one here. Okay, so save time on the video. Let me place these. If I can pick it up right there. Okay, so you see how that's kind of coming together. You're going to have a strip of designer series paper that looks like this, and all you're going to do is cut the edge. Put it this way. And you're just going to cut from the bottom left corner up at an angle, like that. You're going to have a strip of cardstock, just basic white cardstock, and you're going to stamp your sentiment here. I got to make sure I'm on the screen. There. Okay, our sentiment is so cute. It says, "You're the best, plain and simple." I love that play on words. Oh, that is boho blue. We're going to stamp this in Night of Navy. Ink up our sentiment. There we go. And for the sentiment, you're also going to cut it at an angle, just from the bottom left and up. Okay. I recommend taking your sentiment and adding some adhesive to the bottom. And you'll add this to the designer series paper, lining it up on the left-hand side. So you want a little bit of the designer series paper showing at the bottom, and then you'll just kind of line it up with the left. There we go. And we'll put this on with dimensionals. So we've got this one, and stick one in the middle there. Okay, now we're going to just stick it so that it is flush to the right side of your card. There we go, and a little bit of it is coming over your clouds there. You are going to have these die cuts already done for you, and you can put these together. I recommend liquid glue for this. And you kind of have to pay attention to what is going to need the glue. So you're not going to put glue all over the place because you don't want glue up here on the back of that. So we're just going to add some glue. I see the wheels are touching, and then this, whatever this, the front of the plane is called, That's touching. Okay, just a little tiny bit of glue. Okay, let's see what else we need. Are we gonna need some glue on? Maybe a little bit here, and a little bit there. Okay. Now we'll put this on. If you had a silicone mat like this, that would make it so easy for you to do anything that has to do with adhesive, because no adhesive sticks to this, which is great. There we go. We'll add our plane. Isn't that cute? So you'll see I had a little bit of glue right there that didn't need to be there, so I'll just wipe it off. We'll set that plane to the side for a second while we figure out where our clouds are going. So now let's add this cloud. Just above our sentiment. There we go. And then our plane is going to be flying in the air like so. So let me add a couple dimensionals to our plane as well. So I'm going to put one back here. And I'll put one up here. Okay. Is that not so adorable? I think that's just so cute. Okay, like for these here, these other clouds, we're gonna add this cloud, even though it's die cut, we're gonna add it directly to the card base versus popping it up. Put it right there. And we'll pop up this one. Okay, so the front of our card is almost done. We are going to have a little gem. The gem is somewhere. And this happens in class too. People will say, I didn't get a gem. You got to look in the envelope. You got to look around your table, and here it is. You're going to get this little tiny gem that's also in a boho blue color. You're just going to add that to the side, or you can add any gem that you want there. That just adds to the front of the card a little bit. Now the inside of the card, I wanted to decorate because this is a single layer card, which is not something I commonly do. But let's add this strip of adhesive, or DSP, to the bottom of the card. Gonna leave a little layer of the blue showing there. And then we're gonna stamp on this layer and add this to the inside. So let me use my, I'm gonna start by stamping the airplane, this cute airplane here. Ink this up. And I'm just gonna have it kind of flying up right there. And let's grab our boho blue ink and put some clouds on here. There. Okay, where's my other little cloud? There it is. There. And then we've got a little sentiment from that stamp set. You always lift me up. And I thought that all went well together. This time we're going to use copper clay so that we can pull in the copper clay color from the designer series paper. Kind of at an angle, but that's okay. All right, now that we've done that, we'll bring this in and we're going to add it to the card on the inside. And you're just going to center it on the inside of the card, like so. And then that card is complete. So cute, right? Let's clean off these clouds and get them out of the way. And we're gonna go on to our very last card that I think was the favorite of the class. Oh, I forgot this little guy. So you're gonna have a little propeller here that you're gonna add to the card. You can use a glue dot to do that, or you can use some liquid glue if you're very careful. I'm gonna add some glue right to the tip there. And then I'm just gonna add this on. There. Using liquid glue is great because then you can kind of maneuver it and move it a little bit. Okay. Set that to the side. Now this last card is probably a favorite. Hold on a second, my niece is here. Let me let her in. Hello. Hello. I'm just doing my last card on this video. Okay, so for the very last card, it's this one here. This card is actually a case from one of my team members, Susan, who did this for one of our team swaps. So it's a super cute card and probably a fan favorite at the event, but it uses a new stamp set called Layers of Beauty, and they use masks to color it in. So it's a really fun technique too. I'm going to show you how to put this together. Here is going to be your card kit with all your pretty pieces. Even your bow is tied for you. And Lexi, who's here right now, she tied all these bows for everybody. So she's probably still having nightmares on that. I love tying bows. Some people don't. But yeah, she did that just to save everybody some time. Okay, so you're going to need a little scrap of white. You're going to need a larger piece of white for your scrap. So what I did was I just did like a 5.5 by 4 1/4, which is the size of our typical card front, and that'll fit the stamp set really well. So you'll take the stamp, and let me clean the stamp off a bit so I can get a good image. We had a great turnout at class, and so all the stamps are very well loved. We're going to need some black, so I'm going to use our Memento black ink. We're going to ink up this entire stamp. I always recommend to people, if the stamp is larger than the ink pad, to ink it up this way. You have more control that way. So you'll see all of that is covered. Let's bring in our Stampin' pad. And then make sure that your image is on the card. Stop, and you're going to press to get a good image there. If you wanted to flip it over and rub on it, you could do that too. So isn't that a beautiful image? I just love it. I love that stamp. Okay, now the next thing you're gonna do is I recommend grabbing some like washi tape. I had a piece on here. And we'll take the washi tape and kind of hold our paper down on whatever cardstock you're using so it doesn't move. Then we're going to take our masks and we're going to color this in. So the masks look like this. These are obviously used, well loved and used. I haven't had a chance to clean them. But you'll see that there's a little notch in the top corner and a number. So this says number 1. So we're going to try to match up. Now this is the tricky part. This is the part that takes a hot minute. But once you get it, it'll make sense, okay? So we're gonna take and try to line up these flowers. Okay, and you're gonna move the mask around until it looks like it's highlighting some of the images, and you can see how that came together there, right? Okay, it won't be perfect, so this is gonna have kind of like a watercolor look to it, and then you're gonna use some washi tape to hold it down. Like that. Okay, so you see how these little flowers are highlighted, and then we're gonna do we're gonna use two colors here. So we're gonna start with Fresh Freesia. It's the lighter purple that we're using today, and then we're going to take one of our blending brushes, and we're just gonna add some of the Fresh Freesia, and then I recommend you ink it up and then you tap on the side of the image here on the plastic still. And what we're gonna do is take this from white to just a really light wash of purple, or a really light wash of fresh freesia. Not too much, because you're gonna layer some more color onto this, okay? Make sure you get all the pieces. All right, so now that I've done that, you add a little bit more right there. If you wanted to pull more color in, you could pull it from that little spot that you splotched or added the initial ink. The reason you do that is so that when you start, you don't have this big concentration of ink on one of your flowers. All right, so when you pull this off, you'll see that beautifully colored flowers and that light fresh freesia. Now, oh, before I mention this, when you first put this on, if you want, this will help you melt tremendously, is if you kind of have an idea as to where the notch was. Okay, so it's up here. Let me grab a marker. And I'm just gonna kind of mark right there where that is. Okay, so now when we go over to our second template, which is number 2, I know that this notch is gonna match up, or it's gonna line up fairly closely, so that I'm not doing this number, trying to find where it should be. So let's we know it's in the top left corner there, and then now I'll kind of move it around until it looks like it's lined up. Okay, this is going to add some detail to the flowers. And again, like I said, it won't line up necessarily perfectly over the flowers, but you'll get the point. Now for this color, I'm going to add fresh freesia again. So I'm going to layer another layer of the fresh freesia on top of the original, okay? You can see you can pick up some color from here, or you can go back to the ink pad. You have to be careful when you're using these templates, because you can see there's very detailed pieces that if you're not careful will bend on you and kind of get messed up. So now that you've done that, you'll see that we've got this extra detail and shading on the flower. I shouldn't have picked this up, but anyways, we kind of have an idea as to where it should go. All right, so there's that layer, and then we're gonna go to number 3. So let me find number 3 here. Here it is. So number 3 is up in the notch is going to be up in the top left. I did move the flower, or move the paper, so I need to kind of move it to figure out what the best, where it goes the best. There we go. And definitely take your time with this. And we'll just add that washi tape there. Now for this one, I am going to do a darker purple. So we're gonna go from the fresh freesia to the Highland Heather. And then we're gonna take another blending brush, ink that up. And we're just gonna add a deeper purple to our flowers. Now, you can clean these blending brushes just by running them under water. You can do soap and water and then let them air dry if you wanted to. See, I moved it a little bit. Get those flowers right there. Okay. So you can see that layer there of color. Now let's go to our 4th template. So we'll see our number 4 there. And because I've moved it, I know the notch is going to go up to the top left. And this is going to start to color in these other pieces here. So let's see here. There we go. It's lining up. You guys can see how that kind of came together. Okay. I need some washi tape for this. Let me grab some. You don't have to have washi tape, but I'm telling you, it'll help you. Or you can just hold on to the template if you wanted to with your hand. So let's add some washi tape right here. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to that original color of Fresh Freesia. And we'll ink this up. And again, I'm going to do a light wash. So I just want it to go from white to a very light purple. Okay, we'll pull that off. You can see that's a very light purple on there. And then the very last template is number 4. And for these last 2 templates, because they're coloring mainly the leaves, you can change. I did this monochromatic. You can change the color of the leaves and make them a green or whatever color you're interested in. I just decided to keep it with the monochromatic scheme here. So let's put this on. Again, I gotta line it up. So paper's moving on me. Line this up, you'll see it kind of start to show itself here. Does that look right? I think so. Okay, I'll add that washi tape. Now for this one, instead of going to the Highland Heather, I'm going to stick with the Fresh Freesia and just do a darker wash. I shouldn't say wash, I should say blend, a darker blend. Okay, there we go. And there is our finished flower. I love this technique, it's so cute. You definitely need to make sure you take a look at this product because you're gonna want it in your arsenal for sure. Then you're gonna have some dies. See here, I'm gonna pull these off of here. Sometimes when you use washi tape on dies, it really will mess up your die cutting plate, so we want to be careful with using that. Pull these off of here. Instead, what I do, my tip, is if you don't have a magnet die cutting thing, because you'll see how the washi tape gets kind of stuck on the dies, and then what will happen is it'll gummy up your die cutting plates, and then the gummy part will kind of transfer from one project to the next. Okay, so what I recommend doing when you are using your die cutting machine is to line it up. If you need to use washi tape, I would just put just one tiny little bit, or you could use Post-it note tape, that kind of thing. But when you place it on your die cutting machine, use your plates to pinch it down together to be able to die cut it out. So I'm gonna run over and die cut this really quick. I didn't bring my machine over here, so hold on one second. Okay, so once I've die cut that out, you can just kind of pull it away there. And there's your flower. Love that. Now, on your card kit, you would have gotten your card base, which we'll fold in half. And the card base is Fresh Freesia. This is going to go on the inside of your card for some stamping. Okay, so something pretty would be to add the same stamp just on the side right there. But you're going to get this piece here, and this is what I recommend you do with this piece. You're going to place it on the card front, so you could do this side or you could do this side, whichever you prefer. And Don't glue it down yet though. You're gonna take your dimensional. Let me find a dimensional. And you're gonna put one dimensional on this side, like that. Okay. And then you are going to add your flower on here, making sure that it stays within the card front. You don't want it off to the side like this, where you're gonna have to cut off that, right? It won't fit in the envelope. You wanna make sure that it kind of fits on the card. Add it like that. Okay, now what you wanna do is we're going to tear around here, or you can cut, it's up to you. I'm gonna use scissors for this one, but I'm just gonna cut around behind the flower like that. So you see that it kind of gets rid of that straight line right there. Of course, you could leave the straight line if you wanted to, but I really like the way that that looks. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. You can cut or you can tear. Okay, there we go. Now it gives the illusion that the white paper is curved like the flower, like that. Now that you've done that, we're gonna add some adhesive to the back of this white piece. Let's add some dimensionals to the rest of our flower. Okay. And we'll add this to the card front. Just like this. Okay, isn't that just a gorgeous card all in it by itself, just like that? Now you're going to, I'm gonna do a little flicking technique. So we've got our fresh freesia. This is our Stampin' Right marker. So if you were to do the flicking technique with this, you would have your marker head, or the tip of the marker, inside the cap, and you would just kind of do a light flick. I can tell that we did this weekend because this is very dry ink already. It's all dried up. Okay, so you'll see some little tiny sprays of ink. If you want some big splotches of ink, you would use your Stampin' Blends. Now I will warn you with the Stampin' Blends that the tip is very fragile. So you want to be very gentle and careful so that you don't really ruin the integrity of the tip. But you can use your Stampin' Blends to do kind of like a spray. And then you'll see that adds a little bit of splatter on the side that just really takes the card to the next level, in my opinion. Okay, we're gonna do some heat embossing for our sentiment. Everybody will get a little black piece here. So let's heat emboss. Heat emboss, I've been told several times, is not everybody's friend. And I love heat embossing. So let's show you a few techniques here to make your life a little easier. Okay, clean off my stamp. An embossing buddy is going to be very helpful to keeping all of the static away, so that the heat powder, the embossing powder, only sticks to what you want it to. And what you want it to stick to is the sentiment by using Versamark. Versamark is going to be our sticky ink that we're going to use. Okay, so we'll just do this. Bring in my mat here. And I'm just going to stamp straight down, pull it off because it's a sticky ink. You want to have your powder available and ready for you so that you can dip it right away while the ink is still tacky and sticky. So you just kind of stick it in there, and this is how I add it on. I feel like it's less messy this way. Okay. Flick off the back. You'll see that where my fingers were, I had a little bit of powder that stuck there. And then there's your sentiment. Now, you want to heat this up. So I'm going to get my little heat tool and heat this up. Hold on one second. You'll know that it's embossed, heat embossed, when the image is raised and smooth and shiny. Okay, we're going to take this and we're going to add it to the card front with dimensionals. Okay, stick it right there. I think this card is beautiful. You'll have a piece of twine. Again, twine and ribbon. Add that on with glue dots. Don't use liquid glue for these. You always want to use glue dots. And all the adhesive that I use, we sell with Stampin' Up. So you don't have to rush over to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or anything like that and get adhesive. You can just order it right with your, when you place an order with Stampin' Up, because this adhesive is some of the best. Okay, put that on, and then you're going to get some little gems also. I can't remember if these iridescent gems are retired or not. I feel like they are retired. I had some extra ones and they went perfectly with this card, so I gave them as part of Sweet and Simple. Okay. Put this one right here. And then I have another one floating around somewhere. Here it is. Okay, those are our 4 cards that I'm going to show you guys today. So here's one. Let me drag them all back in. Very beautiful class. Several of you ordered these kits to go, and so they were mailed out yesterday. And you'll be able to put them together following this template. Now, those of you who got them to go and you maybe don't have some of these stamp sets, of course, you can use whatever you do have. All the other pieces will be there for you. You can just use a different sentiment if you wanted to. I hope you guys enjoyed those projects. If you are watching this and you're like, I really would love to try paper crafting, but I have no idea where to start, I feel a little overwhelmed, reach out to me, send me a DM or an email, and we can schedule a one-on-one consultation where I kind of go over the art of paper crafting with you and where to get started. So just reach out to me and let me know. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day. Here is your host code for those of you who are ordering. And oh, I think, let me see here. Did I cover everything? Yes. If you need a new catalog, let me know that too. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day. I'm glad to be back here crafting with you guys again. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.